What's up, you guys? Welcome to V.S.O.P Sports Radio, where we only drink the finest of V.S.O.P cognac. I'm your host, Ryan, and today we are going to be taking a look at the NBA's upcoming season and their most interesting storylines that we are all looking forward to seeing how they unfold. But before we do that, if you guys can do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button, because my philosophy is if you enjoy the vibe, why not like and subscribe? Now let's get into it. One of the most interesting storylines that fans are looking forward to seeing how it unfolds. Victor Wembanyama. Will Victor Wembanyama win Rookie of the Year this season? As you know, he was drafted number one overall in the 2023 NBA draft by the San Antonio Spurs. San Antonio Spurs had been on a franchise losing bender for the last few years. Coached by the great Greg Popovich, Victor Wembanyama is listed at 7'4", 209 pounds. Labeled by many as a unicorn. He can shoot threes. He can, carry the ball up the court. He's got handles and this and that. And there was a lot of hype. He's even being regarded as the biggest prospect since LeBron James, which is crazy to me because that's what they were saying about Zion Williamson. But, everybody's talking about Victor Wembanyama and what is he going to do? And for me, I'm wondering as well, will he win Rookie of the Year? Because based on what we've seen, he's definitely got an amazing skill set. However, we have seen times where he's been bullied in the paint by guys much, much smaller than him. Kenny Lofton of the Memphis Grizzlies being one of them. I've seen videos of him just getting bullied in the paint. And so will he win Rookie of the Year? That remains to be seen. Greg Popovich is the master of load management, and the new NBA rules say that in order to qualify for any major awards, you have to play at least 65 games. And so we'll see if Victor Wembanyama even plays that many games. We're hoping he stays healthy. And it's going to be very interesting to see, especially as he's matched up against some of these juggernaut of centers in the league. We're talking Embiid, we're talking Jokic, aka the Joker, Anthony Davis. The list goes on. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out because, again, this kid is being hyped up, 19 years old, out of France, and we'll see what happens. Another storyline that comes up, Ja Morant. Will Ja Morant help or hurt his team this year? As you all know, Ja Morant was suspended 25 games for having a gun on Instagram Live on two separate occasions. The first time he was on Instagram Live in Denver in a strip club. You could tell he was a little turned up and he flashed, his gun on camera. Set the social media world on fire. And Ja pretty much gave himself a self-imposed suspension. And then, of course, the league made it official. But he only ended up missing about a total of 8 games. That's including the games he decided to take off. And then the second time, was it during off-season? No, it was during the playoffs. So, they had already been bounced out. But Ja Morant is hanging with his boy. He's in the car. And his boy's on Instagram Live, and again, he flashes. The NBA said enough's enough. Suspended him for 25 games because he was clearly heading down a path of destruction. There was another incident where one of his boys got banned from the arena for allegedly pointing a laser scope at the Indiana Pacers and their staff. And word on the street was he was also in that car. So clearly Ja Morant was acting a fool. And what did the team do to try to help that? They went ahead and they added Derrick Rose and Marcus Smart. As you know, Derrick Rose is the original Ja Morant. And he's been in the league for quite some time. And Derrick Rose even went on record by saying he told Ja Morant that he's not there to babysit him. He's there to help push him. And one of the things I said in a previous video was that no, Derrick Rose, you are there to babysit him. John Morant is an amazing player. He doesn't need to be pushed athletically. What he needs is mentorship. He needs somebody who's not gonna, who's not a yes man to tell him like, hey, bro, chill out. Don't do that. This is how you navigate. They also got Marcus Smart, who's another veteran, tough guy, who's gonna let him know, like, young brother, you're doing this the wrong way. So my question is, will Ja hurt or help his team? He's already missing 25 games. He is their best player. Desmond Bain just got a extension. The Grizzlies got rid of Dylan Brooks, who, in my opinion, he was wild, but he was entertaining, with his little the dance he be doing, getting everybody hyped up. So, but it remains to be seen. And I'm sure, the fans want to know that as well. When he comes back, is he going to make better choices? Is he going to do things to make sure that he doesn't set his team back? Because they really had high aspirations this last season. I think they were the second seed, and they ended up losing to the Lakers. So that remains to be seen. Another interesting storyline is the Denver Nuggets. Will they repeat as NBA champions? They've got the best duo in basketball with Jokic and Murray. But they did lose Bruce Brown and Jeff Green. Jeff Green's a veteran who really came through and provided some much needed buckets, and at certain times that were very vital to getting the Denver Nuggets over the hump and getting them that championship. It's going to be very interesting to see now that the Nuggets have won. They are definitely on notice. Teams are being built right now in an effort to take down the Denver Nuggets. Nikola Jokic plays basketball like it's a side hustle, and he is amazing at it. So we'll see how that turns out. The next interesting storyline is the Los Angeles Lakers. We just talked about the Los Angeles Lakers made it to the Western Conference Finals after starting the season in a way that nobody even thought they would make it to the playoffs, but they had some mid-season what do you call it? Mid-season transactions, I guess, if you will, for lack of a better term, and they really got some key pieces that helped push them on that run towards the Western Conference Finals. But this offseason, they also added Jackson Hayes, Taurean Prince, Cam Reddish, Gabe Vincent, Christian Wood, which, by the way, I don't know how the Lakers pulled that off. They got Christian Woods for 2.8 million. The guy averaged like 16 and 7 last season. So the Lakers retooled. They were able to re-sign D'Angelo Russell. They re-signed Austin Reeves. I mean, they've got a squad, and this squad looks like they're ready to compete for a championship. Now, the only difference, or not the only difference, the main concerns going into this season is LeBron's age. They always say Father Time is undefeated, and LeBron James is getting up there in age. Will he have the same athletic ability, the same intensity? He says he's training for this up and coming season as if he was a rookie, and he's really out to really give it his all because he's dedicating this season to his son, Bronny James, who unfortunately had a cardiac arrest medical incident not too long ago as his son was preparing for his up and coming first season at USC. So what's going to happen with LeBron remains to be seen. I'm looking forward to finding out. It's an interesting story. And another piece of the concern is Anthony Davis's health. Can Anthony Davis stay healthy throughout the 82-game season? And if he can't, then at least will he be able to remain healthy long enough to help the Lakers get into the playoffs, and will he remain healthy throughout the playoffs? So we'll see when the time comes, but I'm looking forward to it. I really like Rui Hachimura. I like his game a lot, and we'll see what the Lakers do. Can the Suns super team win it all. I mean, when you look at what the Phoenix Suns were able to do this offseason, not even this offseason, prior to the end of the season. I mean, they were making moves. You know, the new owners came in there and cleaned house. Devin Booker is the only player that's remained from the 2019, oh no, 2020 um championship, not championship, team that went to the finals and lost to the Bucks. Devin Booker is the only player left from that team. But as you can see, they've got Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and just this offseason they've added, or this offseason they added Bradley Beal, and they've got Bol. Grayson Allen I'm not really fond of. He's a dirty player, but you know, he plays hard. They got Yusuf Nurkic, who they got in the deal when they traded off DeAndre Ayton. They got Yuta Watanabe. The guy's a sharp shooter, 3-point shooter, and they got him for the low. And then you've got Eric Gordon, veteran, bona fide player, and you know, coming off the bench. And so the Phoenix Suns have depth, and it is going to be very interesting to see what they do full season, you know, playing together, building chemistry. And I'm really curious to see. They've got Nurkic who can put a body on the Joker. And so it's going to be real interesting to see what the Phoenix Suns do this year, because they definitely have a championship quality roster. The next interesting storyline is the Golden State Warriors trading for Chris Paul at this stage in his career. They traded away the future in Jordan Poole for Chris Paul, who was pretty much at the tail end of his career. And so my question is, how will the Warriors look with CP3 right now? Because Draymond Green is hurt, the starting five looks like what you see on the screen. You've got Chris Paul playing at the point guard position. Steph Curry has been moved to the shooting guard. The small forward will now be Klay Thompson. Power forward is Andrew Wiggins. And the center is Kevon Looney. Can you imagine Andrew Wiggins at the 4 trying to guard Giannis Antetokounmpo? That sounds like destruction to me. But I did see some of the preseason game where CP3 suited up for the Warriors, and it might actually work, because if you think about Steph Curry and what Steph Curry has done, he's always been a catch and shoot type of guy, you know, running through screens and whatnot. And who better to find Steph Curry than Chris Paul? Now, before it was Draymond, you know, Draymond was like a point forward. They passed to him, and, you know, he's just kind of holding it, and he'll pass it to whether it's Klay, whether it's Steph. But now it's going to be Chris Paul doing that. And who knows, he might even be doing pick and rolls with Draymond once Draymond gets back. So it's going to be very interesting. And I keep saying that, you know, because this season is going to be very interesting. But I'm looking forward to seeing how this all works out with CP3. Another topic, the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, when it comes to an off-season acquisition that sets your team up for a potential championship just like that, it's this one. Are the Bucks now title favorites? They traded for Damian Lillard. You know, they traded off Drew Holiday to the Blazers, and then the Blazers moved Drew Holiday to Boston. But the Milwaukee Bucks got Damian Lillard, and they still have Chris Middleton, and they've still got, is it Brooke or Robin Lopez? I think it's Robin Lopez. You know, them Lopez twins, they always confuse me. But they still have their core team, and pretty much it just turned out to be a swap. Lillard for Drew, or Drew for Lillard. And so this team has definitely become deadly with Giannis doing what he does in the paint. This offseason, Giannis went to go work out with Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. And so if he brings the dream shake into his game after already dominating in the paint, and then you got somebody like Damian Lillard, and then Chris Middleton can give you about 18 a game. This team is very scary, especially in the East where there's really not much resistance. I can only think of one team that can really challenge the Bucks, and that's the Boston Celtics. Will the Celtics make a run for the title? Because when I look at their team, they also got better. They got Drew Holiday. They've got Kristaps Porzingis. So when you look at their starting lineup, you got Drew Holiday, you got Jason Tatum, you got Jaylen Brown, you got Kristaps Porzingis, and you got Al Horford at the 5. That's a hell of a starting 5. But here's the thing about the Celtics. Will Jaylen Brown being the highest paid ruffle Jason Tatum's feathers? Because Kobe Bryant had a story about how they would divide they would divide teammates by denying the player that was up for a contract. They would hone in on stopping him and letting the player that just got their deal get all the shine. And in a sense, bring ruffles, because the guy who wants his big contract, he wants to play, and it's like, okay, let the guy who already got his contract do his thing. Let's shut down the guy and really frustrate him, because that's gonna drive a riff. And so as of right now, Jaylen Brown is the highest paid player on the Celtics. And subconsciously, does that bother Jason Tatum? Who knows? Who knows? And now they just got Drew Holiday. So it's going to be interesting to see, okay, well, who's the first option? Who's the second option? Who's the third option? And so we'll see how that goes. But here's another question. Should the Celtics sign Dwight Howard? If you're trying to build a team to compete with the Nuggets in the finals, if they were to get there, Dwight Howard's your guy. Dwight Howard is sitting out there. Nobody's picking him up, and he can give you some quality minutes. He's still athletic. He still has the ability. He went over there to Taiwan and just went crazy. So if the Celtics are smart, they say, hey, we'll bring this guy in. You don't even have to pay him that much. Give him the veteran minimum. He just wants to play. So that's something to look forward to. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the Celtics do. I am not a Celtics fan, but I want to see if they're going to fall apart, due to that inner turmoil I was talking about. Another team who could have had a chance, the 76ers. Can they compete despite the James Harden drama? James Harden demanded a trade. He made it very clear he doesn't want to be a part of any franchise that Daryl Morey is a part of. And as a result, his trade value is low. He's on the last year of his deal. Nobody wants him. He's forced his way out of so many cities that nobody wants to put up with the headache. And if he doesn't play, can the Philadelphia 76ers still compete with Joel Embiid and Maxey and the rest of the guys? Who knows? But it's definitely seems like the Philadelphia 76ers are no longer a title contender with this nonsense that's going on, unless they can move James Harden. But with his contract, it's going to be very hard to do. Another topic that comes to mind: will Jordan Poole become an all-star? Jordan Poole was traded, and like I said earlier, for CP3 after having a rough season last year, which started off with him getting punched by Draymond Green. And so this is his opportunity to take a franchise and really lead them, because he was the new guy, and Curry and Clay and Dre was definitely not trying to let him get his shine on. They're like, fool, this is still our team. So with him going to Washington, teaming up with Kyle Kuzma, they have the ability to be the next Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown type of combination, because they're both NBA champions. Kyle Kuzma won a championship with the Lakers. Jordan Poole won his championship with the Warriors. And so when you've got these two young guys who've already got championships under their belt with that championship experience, I see really good things happening for these young guys. And I cannot wait to see Jordan Poole And I'm hoping that Draymond Green comes back from injury before that happens. But I want to see Jordan Poole go at it. I guarantee he's going to try to go for 50 or 60 when he plays against the Golden State Warriors. And lastly, Zion Williamson. Will he finally have a healthy season? This man has been robbing in plain sight the New Orleans Pelicans. This man has only played about half of his games in the last 4 or 5 years, however many years he's been here. I got a feeling that if he does not have a healthy season, the Pelicans are going to trade this guy. Because let me tell you, with him on their roster, I believe before he got hurt last year, their team was like the first or second seed. They were doing great with him. I mean, they've got Brandon Ingram. They've got CJ. Just look at that starting five: CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, Herbert Jones, Zion Williamson, and Jonas Valanciunas. If everyone is healthy, these guys can definitely compete for a championship. Now, are they a championship team? I don't know. But can they compete? Can they make it to the Western Conference Finals? Absolutely. But we always get a little we don't get to see because somehow, some way he ends up hurt. And so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing if he can have a healthy season, because if he can, he could definitely put the New Orleans Pelicans in position to win a championship. And so with that, you guys, I am looking forward to this upcoming season. You guys let me know what you guys think in the comments. If there are any other storylines that you guys feel are definitely worth taking a look at, leave it in the comments. And again, guys, if you made it to this point in the video, you guys are the MVP. Like and subscribe. Let's keep the hype going. And I'll see you guys next time here on V.S.O.P Sports Radio. Peace.